At AgriGold, we're creating new hybrids every year, and for this growing season, we've got some giants. What makes a hybrid a giant? Averaging more than 6 bushels over all competitors, winning 67% or more of the time, and going head-to-head in over 1,000 comparisons in their maturity. That's strict criteria for a new hybrid. AgriGold keeps producing top-quality hybrids like the giants year after year, and it's all thanks to unsurpassed genetics. We take germplasm from 4 continents. Our germplasm pool is developed and evaluated by 14 corn breeding programs across the Corn Belt, and dihaploid breeding brings you these new hybrids faster. Genetics are the key to giant performance. A6533 is AgriGold's 113-day giant, and this is its story. From planting to harvest, A6533 has a story fit for a giant. Here to tell A6533's story are the people who know it best, AgriGold agronomists.
When I think of 6533 coming out of the ground, starting its emergence pattern, I think of just solid agronomics. Most environments, corn has to come up out of the ground. It's tough, it's wet, it's cold. So corn has to have a good emergence package to be able to come up, have a uniform stand. 6533 has done that this year and has done that in the past as we've watched it grow.
It's a 113-day family B. Typical with family Bs, it has a flex-steered hybrid. It allows it to be planted at lower planting populations, anywhere from 28 to 32,000 depending on the yield environment. If it's a high yield environment, we certainly don't have any problems planting it at 34,000 plants per acre.
One area AgriGold wanted to improve upon in the normal family B hybrid was the root system.
Also typical with family Bs is average root strength and things like that. With this hybrid, has a phenomenal root structure. Typical with family Bs is they're not very good root structures, and it's something that our breeders have worked very, very hard on to improve.
The other thing about 6533 that makes it a giant among the industry is its versatility. When you think of a product, you have to be able to have a product go across a lot of different soil types, a lot of different management styles, and a lot of different conditions. And 6533 does that to a very large extent.
Versatility is a term that keeps coming up when we talk about A6533, and it applies to nitrogen as well.
In terms of nitrogen and applications, it can handle just about anything that you would like, whatever the management system is, whether it be all up front or later in the season, or ideally maybe a split 50% pre-plant or starter and 50% side rest.
Uniformity, early vigor and emergence, and a strong root system make A6533 a giant in the early season. It continues on that track through mid-season.
Corn looks fantastic right here at mid-season. You see the plant height, ear height, they're both medium in stature. Really progressing well at this time.
It has a very good disease tolerance built into the plant, so fungicide isn't necessary. Now in this county we've seen some gray leaf spots starting to show up, and 6533 has gone through there and has really not shown any lesions at all yet. So that is very strong for this product.
When you're looking at the stalk diameter with 6533 at mid-season, you see we got just fantastic stalk diameter, very good stalk to keep this plant up.
And it really goes to rind strength, and you can see the white in the center. It's actually the green just around that outside, and the thicker it is, the stronger rind strength it has. And that's something that this particular plant hybrid has very good, which is rind strength. Holds up this plant late in the season, so it holds up those giant ears that it might have throughout the fall.
The root system plays an important part of A6533's mid-season development as well.
One thing that we tend to like about it as well is the giant root structure that we're seeing here. As you can tell, there's a lot of these thicker white roots that are going deep down into the soil profile that allow it to access the nutrients that we have placed down there and keep that stalk and ear healthy.
This is a year just taken off of an average plant within this plot, and it's essentially 16 around. What you'll see towards harvest is this ear really swell out in girth. Very typical of a family B.
At harvest, the one thing you want to see is yield. As an AgriGold giant, A6533 delivers.
When we look at a hybrid, in AgriGold's view, we're looking for a plant that gives us a green plant, brown husk. So when we look at 6533, that gives us that package. A green plant, brown husk tells us that this plant is maturing properly. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing as far as putting all of its yield and all of its nutrients into that ear.
And if you look at some of these leaves, you really don't see many lesions on them. This season was very heavy in gray leaf spot and northern corn leaf blight. This hybrid has held up very well in this time of year.
A6533 also holds up well thanks to stalk and rind strength.
We've seen a lot of instances where this 6533 was planted side by side with a competitor where maybe had some winds early on and the competitive product might have had a little goosenecking or root lodging or even some stalk lodging, and 6533 is still standing very straight and strong out there in the field.
Family bees also give us this wonderful thing of ear flex. A lot of genetics in the industry today don't have ear flex. So if we have less than the desired plant population due to environmental conditions, 6533 gives us that ear flex to make up for the difference.
Generally what you'll see is, an ear size kind of like this. This one happens to be about 18 by 35. Usually very, very typical is more of a flex type ear. If you break them open, you'll see that it has very, very good kernel depth. And that's primarily where the yield comes from.
At AgriGold, we're very proud of our giant lineup and will continue to bring hybrids like A6533 to you. With the 4th largest breeding program in the world and dihaploid breeding, we're not only bringing you the best new and unique hybrids, we're getting them to you faster. And like all of our products, our giants are protected by the best traits and seed treatments available. Backed by the knowledge of our corn specialists and agronomists, AgriGold can help you maximize your yields for giant results.
So in terms of its yield history, from 2003 up till now, it's never been beaten in any of our research trials. And last year gave us a great example that it's not just a typical plot winner. We had it in several more locations, and it certainly did stand out in all different kinds of environments.
The new AgriGold Giants. Find more information, including up-to-date local yield results, at agrigold.com.